Welcome to Cord Cutting Today for June 28th, 2019. This is the show where I give you a quick look at some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting right now and give you my opinion on them. If you want to learn more about these stories, check out the show notes down below. I'll put a link to each story where you can read them, follow them for yourself, come up with your own opinions. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. It really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we're doing here. And hopefully we can help you break free from the high-cost cable TV. If you're a regular here, do me a favor, ring the notification bell. It really does help us because that way you get notified when new videos come out. Well, let's jump into it real quick. First, we have a great deal that's back. Earlier this month, STARZ had a deal for 3 months of STARZ for $5 a month for the first 3 months. This is a very aggressive price for a lot of movies and TV shows from STARZ. Well, they brought it back just for a few more days though. It ends on Sunday, the 30th of June. So if you want this deal, you want to get STARZ for $5 a month for the first 3 months, don't wait. Link in the show notes down below. All right, next story up of the day. Sony quietly added the BEIN Sports Network. I'm not sure is that how exactly you pronounce that. Let me know in the comments if they're, or they just say BEIN Sports and Baby First TV, which is not Baby TV, which is something I believe Sony already had. This is Baby First TV, a separate channel. So it's really good news to see that Sony's adding channels. The downside here is the reason why Sony's probably adding channels to PlayStation Vue. This morning they updated the little, what changed in their service section of their FAQ, and they still have listed in it that Discovery, AMC, Turner, and NBC Universal are all still in talks and have to the end of this year, or the end of this month, so this weekend, to get talks, or Sony will drop those channels from PlayStation Vue. They updated it to include the fact that they added these 2 new networks, but they didn't update it to remove that. So I'm going to assume that talks are still underway. We've reached out to Sony. They have not commented past what was posted in that blog post on their website or the FAQ post. We've reached out to all the independent companies. They've all basically said no comment at this time, or they haven't replied to our emails. Does that mean negotiations are still underway? That's very possible. Sometimes when these negotiations are underway, they decide not to comment, not to talk about the possible blackouts or the issues happening. Or does it mean that a deal's done? I don't know. What we do know is Sony seems to be rushing to add channels to lower packages like the tennis channel, bringing it from the Elite to the Core, and adding more other channels. Are they trying to find filler to fill in any blank spots that may be left by a temporary drop of one of these networks? Now, I do expect most, if not all of them, to renew. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it will happen right away. If you've watched cable for a while or you watch satellite, you're probably familiar with sometimes blackouts happen for a short amount of time and then they will suddenly be restored. So I'd love to hear what your opinions are on these new channels for PlayStation Vue, and I'd love to hear your predictions about Discovery, Turner, NBC Universal, and AMC. All these networks are very popular. It would be a massive blow to Sony to lose any of them, and I wish Sony was being a little bit more transparent about what was happening. But the fact that they updated that page about Baby First and everything else, but didn't remove the warning about a possible blackout for those networks, leads me to believe that it's still a very real risk that a blackout would happen. Now, again, like I said, I'm not expecting all of them to go black. I wouldn't be surprised if 1 or 2 networks maybe wasn't willing to strike a deal right away. AT&T and NBC Universal reportedly being very strict on these kind of renewals right now because they're trying to claw back content for their own streaming services that are coming later this year and next year. Already seeing a little bit of that happen here. Is Sony not willing to pay the price? We just saw them drop the Nest Regional Sports Network. Again, if you don't live in a Nest market, you probably don't care, but if you do live in the New England area, losing your regional sports network is a painful loss. So I'd love to hear what you think, and we will be following it all weekend long. We will be working here at Cord Cutters News, watching this very closely. If we learn anything new, we'll be posting about it over at cordcuttersnews.com. All right. AT&T has also rolled out an update to the DIRECTV NOW app for the next story of the day on the Fire TV. So AT&T's been a while since they've done really anything with the DIRECTV NOW app. Well, they did roll out an update with several major under-the-hood improvements that fix several bugs, which is awesome. And they've also altered the font a little bit. So the font is now slightly different. It's a little bit easier to read, a little bit larger. And I'd love to know, do you use DIRECTV Now on the Fire TV? What do you think of the new improvements? Did you even notice the slightly different text sizes and the update that rolled out about a little over 24 hours ago now when I'm recording this? So leave me a comment, let me know. DIRECTV Now has, or AT&T has basically said DIRECTV Now is a beta test for the new DIRECTV streaming service at this point. So it seems like they're continuing to experiment with things like font sizes and more to try to get the user interface right for when they roll out the DIRECTV thin version that's coming out later this year. So DIRECTV Now subscribers, again, everybody asks, what does this mean for you? Nothing. You really have nothing to worry about. Just keep doing what you're doing. If you're happy with the service, stay subscribed. Worry about what could happen in the future when it happens, is my recommendation. But I'd love to know from you if you notice it. Also, did you notice that maybe they rolled out that improvement maybe to other devices? Has Roku or Apple TV or any of the others got a DIRECTV Now update with a improved under the hood performance? And when I say under the hood, I mean the back end. Things like loading pages are faster and the like. And have you noticed anything like the fonts changing? Leave us a comment, let me know. All right, next story up of the day. And this one caused some confusion, I think, from people who didn't actually read the story. Always read the story. If I could tell you anything, is read the story before you comment. But WatchESPN is going away to be replaced by the ESPN app. Yesterday, ESPN started notifying mobile users that were still using the WatchESPN app that on June 30th, they will be retiring the WatchESPN app, and you'll will need to download the ESPN app to watch live ESPN content. All the content for the WatchESPN app is moving over to the ESPN app at this time. Now, on streaming players, that's already happened. Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV kept basically the same app, but they updated the logo to drop WatchESPN, just have ESPN on it. Now when it comes to mobile devices and tablets, are doing the same thing. Much like NBC trying to unify all their apps into a single app, it seems that ESPN is doing the same. No longer do you need an ESPN app for scoring and news and a WatchESPN app to actually stream the game. You can now do both in the same app. You have been able to for a while. Now they're just making it so you can't use the old WatchESPN app. I saw many people saying, look, they did that on my Roku a long time ago, this is fake news. I always love that fake news argument, especially when it clearly said in the story that this is for mobile devices. So check that out. Again, read the story, let me know. But anybody here, do you use the ESPN app to stream content? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I kind of enjoyed the WatchESPN app. I thought it was very quick and easy to get to. But I guess I'm going to be using the the ESPN app now instead for when I want to catch a little bit of a football game on the road. So just want to make sure everybody saw that. It's a minor change, nothing really being lost other than the fact that you will need to install a new app, because unlike on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV where they just replaced the old WatchESPN app with the new ESPN app, here you'll actually need to go download a new app and log in if you don't already have the ESPN app. I would assume if you have the WatchESPN app, most people do have the ESPN app. All right, next story up of the day. According to our readers, of all the new services coming out, Disney Plus, Warner Media, T-Mobile's new TV service, NBC's new service, and Apple TV Plus, that Disney Plus is the service most cord cutters are excited about and most cord cutters intend to subscribe to. Maybe not surprised, we know the most about it right now. That probably helps a lot. But according to our readers, 24.2% say they intend to subscribe to Disney Plus. Only 9.5% say they intend to get Warner Media's new streaming service later this year. 5.9%, or 9.5%, excuse me, for Warner. 5.9% for T-Mobile's TV service, which they've been a little bit quiet about recently. 5.8% for NBC's new service coming out next year, and only 1% for Apple TV. I think the Apple TV one probably has to do with the fact that we know the least about it, even though we know some originals coming. We don't know pricing. We don't know, past the fact that it will have some original content from Apple, will it have anything else? Are you going to be paying $10 a month just to get a couple Apple originals? I think that's the main thing Apple's struggling with, is they don't have the content to compete with a Disney and a Warner and an NBC Universal, because they're just getting started producing their own content. They don't have a huge back catalog of years and years and years of movies and TV shows that they can just throw in there as filler content to make the service look like it's worth more. So I'd love to know from you, do you agree with this list? Are you most excited about Disney Plus? If not, which service are you most excited about? And for anybody who plans to get the Apple TV Plus service, what do you like about it? If you're an Apple user and you're not planning to get it, or you're not excited about the Apple TV Plus subscription Netflix-like service, why? Is it the lack of information? I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a comment, let me know. All right, last story of the day. Another part of our survey. We're almost done covering the news from the big survey. But according to our readers, Tablo DVRs are the most popular over-the-air DVR, but it was a very close race. So we surveyed over 3,000 of our readers. One of the questions we asked was, what DVR do you use? Not what you own, what are you actually using to record your antenna? Because services like DIRECTV Now, Sling TV, PlayStation View come with their own internal cloud DVR through the app. You don't need a hardware device to do that. Number one was the Tablo DVR. Now Tablo's been really up in their game. They've added automatic commercial skipping, some new models, a cheaper model, and a new forward tuner version, which will even allow you to put an external hard drive in it, or an internal hard drive in it, if you would so choose. Followed by TiVo, which has got the TiVo brand name. A lot of people absolutely love that. Followed by Plex, which is a software option that you can use with a tuner, but a lot of people really love that. Followed by HD Home Run in fourth place. Again, hardware and a software option there. Fifth place kind of shocked me. The Fire TV Recast was more popular than Channel Master and the Air TV, even though it's a lot newer-ish. The Air TV DVR came out, I want to say, roughly the same time frame as the Recast DVR. So I'm very interested to see the growth of the Fire TV Recast. Will that growth continue? Are they peaking out because they don't support other devices? Is the lack of Apple TV, Roku, Android TV, and more smart TV support hurting them, where Tablo supports all those and more? Air TV, same thing, a lot more device support, but not quite as many subscribers. And Channel Master was kind of shocking. A lot of big Channel Master fans. It's a very good device, but it's a one device per TV as opposed to one device to do all your TVs. I wonder if that's hurting them. I'd love to know from you, what is your favorite DVR for an antenna and why? And more importantly, I was shocked to find out most people who use an antenna do not use a DVR with it. If you have an antenna and you regularly use it, why don't you have a DVR? Leave me a comment, let me know. I'll love to hear from you. Well, that's it. I hope everybody has a fantastic Friday. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Again, we will be here watching all the news all weekend long, including what's happening with PlayStation View. So if the news breaks, we'll be on it. And if you find any news, make sure you go to corecarsnews.com. Find a deal, you find a news story, hit that contact us, send us an email, and let us know. We'll love to hear from you about the news that you found. That helps us stay on top of everything happening. So have a great weekend. Stay safe. I will be here tomorrow with our cord cutting weekly recap, and I'll be back on Monday for a regular cord cutting weekly show. So I hope you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody.